Hello, welcome to my channel. So let's go ahead and start then. Sorry for all the ums. I'm not good being off script unless I'm on stream, but it's fine. So let's go. So with hair today, I will draw some of my webtoon characters since I draw them way too much as it is already. I draw them like hundreds of fucking times because I have to for my webtoon. But yeah, quick plug, go read my webtoon. It's on webtoon called Fourth Dimensioners Club. It's pretty lit, I think. I don't know. Okay, so first I'm gonna draw the one character. I'll start the sketch. I'm not gonna focus too much on like the actual head itself. That doesn't really matter. My character Jin, he's an emo boy. Okay, gonna get the quick sketch in there so I can make a place for the head. Okay, so when it comes to sketching the hair, usually I actually don't put too much thought in it during the sketching phase. I usually like wait until line art to actually put details in because I'm like kind of too lazy, and also doing the details on the line art takes kind of a long time. But okay, so first when it comes to sketching the hair, usually, so when you think about hair, there's like, of course, a lot of ways to do it. People have a bunch of different methods for it. Like looking at references is always good, but I don't do that. I'm someone who doesn't like looking at references. It's not good. It's a bad habit, but it's fine. Don't take after me. Yeah, I guess just like you gotta think about it in like a three-dimensional space kind of thing, which I know is like the coldest take ever, but what I always think of is like trying to split it up into a few different layers and thinking about how it would fall on the head. So like first of all, if a character has bangs, I'll usually start with those. Like Jin right here has some emo bangs. I'm gonna do like a little mass of bangs right here. And that's like the first piece. And since the hairline is like right here, his hair was a little above that, so you kind of add like a little shoo right there, you know, like a little shoo, if that makes sense, like a little fucking McDonald's arches right there. That kind of thing. Not too high though. I mean, you can if it's like a stylistic thing, you know, like old 90s animes and shit when their hair is like fucking hair vents, you know, but I mean, no, I don't do that. So yeah, I'm gonna add like the front of the hair for now, like the first layer of it. So we've got this, got his little bangs, and the next I'm going to add like the underlayer of it, which is kind of the hair that's like, I don't have to do this part, you don't have to do this part, but I like to add some hair underneath as well. Especially with this kind of hair where it's kind of like messy, there's gonna be a few layers to it, add a few more details. Oh, sorry, I'm sniffly. And then you start adding the back of the hair then, which of course is gonna go a little bit above like the headline. So kind of just go out of where you make the scalp piece. I don't fucking know. The piece right here where the hair is coming out of where like the hairline is. And kind of just go off of there. His hair's a little wavy and kind of messy, so I like to go off and make a few little strands. Not go too crazy on it during the sketch, of course, just kind of go with how his hair goes. So yeah, just kind of make it a good shape as well, make it a good silhouette. Give him a little ahoge maybe, just for giggles. It depends, it fully depends on what kind of mood I'm in, if I give him like a little hair piece on the top or not, I don't know. What is consistency? I know consistency is good, but I'm a fool. I'm gonna add a little piece of hair over here as well, just another little messy piece. So yeah, there is our first sketch. Okay, so next I usually do a cleaner sketch. I'm gonna do that real quick. It doesn't really matter right now, but I usually when it comes to my webtoon, or like drawings in general, I usually do a thumbnail sketch, then I do a messy sketch, a clean sketch, and then the final line art. But right now I'm just gonna do two sketches because I'm not really doing any kind of complex things. I don't really need to do a thumbnail for the composition, so right now I'll just do a quick, messy, clean sketch so that I know what to do for the line art then. Got the little arches. Okay. Got his little hairpiece. Yeah. Yeah, and just kind of make sure that when you have the hairline type of thing, the type of deal, like up here is where it is right now, like the little thingy, the strands of hair can be coming from there. Of course, there can be several different, sources of where the hair is coming from if they have, like, a weird part. Just kind of go with that, add little hair strands. So right now he has, like, this hair strand right here. And you can kind of see there's like chunks, of course. People are always like, oh, make the chunks of hair or whatever. You got like this piece right here, and you got like this piece right here kind of thing, and like this piece right here. Oh my god, he looks like a fucking 2007 emo kid. But you know what I mean. And then you got like a piece back here type of thing. And think about that as well when you get to the shading part, but I'll talk about that more later. Oh, it's gonna be a long video, isn't it? It's fine. Okay, so yeah, you just keep adding the hair strands. Keep thinking about how gravity affects it as well. I've got some hair like kind of hanging down here. It's a little too long for him. One second. So yeah, let's do a little bit of that. I would like to add a lot of volume to hair as well. A lot of people don't, but and I tend to go a little overboard sometimes when it comes to like messy hair strands and volume, but it's kind of like, I promise it's my art style, I promise. I'm doing it on purpose, but I really love just like drawing fluffy hair. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, so I got some of that going. Finish his head. Doesn't really matter. Emo boy, okay. Make him a little more upset. He's got a little bit of a mullet going on, so that can be another piece of hair in the back. We got our clean sketch going. I'm just gonna add a little more things without the main sketch in there. There's one piece, there's... Oh my god, one piece? I'm sorry. Okay. So we have that, we have that, we have his hair. So we're gonna start on the line art now then. This is the fun part, right? Okay, so for what I do now, I've recently not been using any stabilization on my pens, which I know is like slightly unhinged, especially because I have hand tremors, it's really fun. I love when my hands shake while I'm trying to draw, but yeah, I've been using this pen with no stabilization on it because I think it gives it a nice scratchy, kind of messy look that I like to go for in my art. So let's do this real quick. Let's just do the outlines of the face so I can do the hair, focus on the hair. I don't make the cleanest line art. I mean, I sometimes do depending on what kind of mood I'm in. So it doesn't really matter. It's just kind of like when it comes to working on my webtoon, I like to make my line art cleaner so that it's easier to fill in, which I'll show you later. Since with the webtoon, it's like you gotta kind of make it streamlined and not have it take 10 million years to do. But, yeah. So, we got his head kind of done. That's an ear all right. Okay. Here we go. So with line art for hair, first I'm going to start out here. I kind of just start in areas where I know they're going to be in front and on top. So I'm going to go starting here. With my line weight, I'll keep it kind of steady for now, but I'll show you how to kind of make it juicier in a second. So I got this. Okay. So we get that hair piece going. Let's add another piece. Okay, and his hair's kind of straight. So let's see. And another chunk. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of this up here. And when it comes to like where the hairline comes out and making everything kind of match up, I always kind of just like, I don't fully complete everything attached to the hairline because it kind of looks like weird then, I don't know, but yeah, I usually just kind of make it give the impression of it being a cohesive object, you know? And also, next hair trick, if you do like a little psh, you know, it kind of looks like the hair is flipping over, which can look kind of cool sometimes. And also, like, when it comes to like tangents right here, there's kind of a tangent going on where this hair is kind of right there. Yeah, I'm just gonna add a little bit of a psh right there so that there's no tangent going on anymore. Oop. My layers are not coherent right now, but it's fine. Don't look at my layers. Don't have to look at those. Oh, wait, I'm like literally in the way of the layers, but it's fine. It doesn't really matter. I just have different, I just have a layer for line art, and sometimes when I add more things, then I'll add another layer and then merge them so they don't have to worry about accidentally drawing on things and then having to erase things, but yeah. Okay, so. Add another little layer of hair underneath. Okay. And we're gonna do it on the other side as well. We're gonna do the little McDonald's arches, add a few little hairs, because it's his hair coming up. If you think about how like the hair kind of goes up, it's still hair underneath. So it's just gonna be like that. When I shade it, it's going to be like darker, of course. I'll get to that in a bit though. So yeah, let's see. I'm gonna do another hair chunk just like we did on the other side. Ugh. This is why I use stabilization, folks. I am just a masochist. Okay. It's gonna get in the way of the ear. I don't really care about the ear. Who fucking cares? Okay. Um. So yeah, I got that. I'll erase the ear in a second. Like the hair coming up underneath. Okay. We've got some hair going on. Okay. And his ear. We can erase the underneath pieces. Oh, sorry for the sniffles. Okay. Okay, little hair piece. Sometimes with this I go like a little... I think it's cute. I don't know, do a little swoop, you know? Okay. Got a little fucking antenna. Follow to his fellow emo boys. Okay. So we got this piece going in the back. Hair flip. And so, like, when you look at it, you can kind of see it, like, this piece is kind of, like, in tandem with this piece down here. But again, when I get the shading, I'll mention that. So, let's see. So I got that. Make sure everything's fine. So with the flipping the canvas a million times, I have the canvas flipping actually mapped to a button on my tablet, so whenever I need to flip the canvas, just to make sure everything's kind of looking right, I just kind of press this button and flip back and forth is how I do that. Okay, so, continue on with that. And yeah, this is kind of just like another back piece, another piece right here, behind there. It's kind of like a third layer there, but not really. And yeah, just kind of think of like the other layers kind of being independent of the front layers, but also at the same time making sure that there is some form of composition to it. Add some more lines here to indicate the hair kind of being pulled behind the ear there. And yeah, it's kind of adding more lines to, not like adding random lines willy-nilly to the hair is gonna help, but like kind of going with the direction of the hair can give it a little more detail sometimes. Right now I don't really have much to add. I'm just gonna add a few more little lines there to kind of give the impression of it being detailed. A lot of people use the coloring when it comes to the hair to add details, but I tend to do it in my line art, and that's how I do it. So, okay. So you got a little mullet down here. Okay. And yeah, there's the first bit of liner for the hair. Okay, so get rid of some of the face there. And what we're gonna do next is we're actually gonna go in and make the line art a little more juicy. So let's see. So we go in and we go like this. We go into the corners and we add some extra, like a little, you know, I don't know. Kind of just fill in the corners to make it look a little more intentional. I don't fucking know if that's a word. Make it look a little more dynamic, maybe is the word I'm thinking of. When you do that, it looks kind of like you have more line weight. You know what I mean. Got a little line right here, maybe. Okay. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna do that to all the corners. And some more than others. Just kind of how you feel it. And yeah, on the hairline, I like to do some darker pieces. Okay. And some right here to show the hair overlapping. Okay. And right there. I'm just looking through to see if there's any pieces I'm missing. I got a little overlap right there, whatever. It's not the cleanest line art in the world, but it'll do. So yeah, we got that. I'm gonna add a few more details so the hair doesn't look as flat. I'll add a little bit of this. Maybe. Wait, maybe not. It's fine. I'm fine. Okay. A little bit of that. Yeah, a few more little lines to show where the direction of the hair is going. Can sometimes help. Especially like around the top where the hair is kind of going off in different directions. Can look kind of fun. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Alright. So I think it's about it for the line art then. Should we move on to the coloring, and I'll show you all a little trick. I'm gonna get skin tone quick first. And we're just gonna do a little line. I guess skin tone is around more here. Okay. And we're going to actually select everything but that. We're gonna go in, fill in any gaps, make sure there's no little, like, white pieces. Like right here. Yeah, I didn't do the line art very clean there, and that's why I gotta go clean it up. Which is why I usually tend to do it cleaner when I'm trying to do my webtoons, so I don't have to spend too much time doing it, but it's fine. Okay, so let's see. Make sure there's no little white spaces, like right there. Select that. And I think that's good. So then we go and we wait. And we invert the selection then. Then we fill it in. We can use the fill bucket right here. Make sure there's no protruding anything. You can select from the layer and select that whole thing then. So then you have kind of a whole selection. You don't gotta worry about going outside the lines or anything, which is nice. So I'm just gonna quickly fill in, oops, the other colors real quick. Just because I don't want to have to worry about that. It takes like 2 seconds. When I do lighter colors, I tend to go on with a darker color first, so I make sure I don't miss anything, and then I'll recolor it all to the lighter color. Because it's sometimes hard to see, and then when I try to shade, it's like a whole disaster. Especially with the little gaps in the line art, when you have messy line art like this. Okay, so you take the lighter color, and you go like, whoop. Okay. And get the feeling eye color, eye color. Okay, so we got that all colored. Let's do his hair next. His hair is like a kind of... It's like a... I don't know how to describe it. It's like a dark purplish type of thing. Kind of like brown, but not really. Wait, I'm on the wrong layer. There we go. I'm gonna fill it in. I don't want to go too dark with it. Even if I have black hair that's like dark, I usually don't go too dark at first, because then when I add shading, it can get a little muddled, a little more difficult, so... There's that. Let's see. Okay, just gonna fill this all in. And usually I can just use a fill bucket as well. Oh, shite. I can use a fill bucket as well. Like this. And then usually I go in and fill in the gaps in a minute then. Because then I can get most of it and then kind of finagle with it. Okay. So I've got the hair color done. And so in a minute, we can go on with the shading. Okay. So with this, I will first add a new layer, set it to multiply. And for his hair, since it's like a dark purplish, I'm gonna go with like a little, I'm gonna shift the hue a little more towards a red, I think. Actually, I'm gonna more towards blue. It's a little more richer, so I'm going to go in with the multiply layer, and first of all, I'm going to take some kind of brush. I use this gouache brush that I have. I don't even know where the fuck I got it from, but if you use like any kind of paintbrush, you can even use, I used to use a pencil to do this, because I usually go in and blend it anyways, and you kind of fill in where any shadows would be, like underneath layers of hair first. The first order of business. And yeah, you'll see why I start out with a lighter color as well, in a minute when I actually start doing the coloring of the hair itself, but yeah, I'll first do the, where the light isn't hitting. Just like underneath there, underneath there. Okay. And like here. So we got that, right? Okay, so we got that all settled. We're going to take the blender and kind of just like blend that shit out. Not too much though, because since it's underneath, since it's like the underneath shading, it's not going to be diffused that much. Because the hair is kind of covering it up. Also, I see a little squiggles up there. One moment. I'll fix that in a second. Alright. Take that color, fill it in. Alright, and then next, I'm going to actually just make a second layer for this and do another multiply. And take the same color, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to go in and kind of color in the dark parts of the hair. So I'm going to go on the strands, kind of just paint like this, if that makes sense. Right? And kind of go from the top as well. And from like any kind of layers that there is, I just start at the tips and kind of go with it. And underneath, since the bottom piece isn't very exposed, there's not going to be much there. But yeah, and kind of just like go with the direction of the hair, do the shading that way. I kind of see, of course, don't draw like every strand of hair. You could, I mean, like some styles do that, but it always just looks better to, like in my opinion, a lot of times it looks better to just do the impression of hair strands rather than drawing every little hair strand. Like some styles pull it off, but a lot of times it just distracts from the main points of the piece. Does that make sense? So here I'm going to do it on the other side as well. Okay. There we go. I got that right. And I'm going to blend that out. Take my blender, go a little bigger. And I just have like a, paint blender. I don't know what blender this is. I got it from the Clip Studio thing. I don't fucking know. It's just like use any kind of painter textured blender, or if you don't want to, you can use any kind of blender. But yeah, then I kind of just go in and out with the direction of the hair then. And just kind of blend that shit out. And not too much. I don't like to blend too much because then it looks muddy. So I kind of just take some pieces and kind of just go until I think it looks good. Okay. Yeah, and always make sure to go with the direction of the way the hair's going. So we get that. We got our first shading in. We can actually alpha lock this layer. If you hit this little like lock thing here, I'm going to make a darker tone. I'm going to make it blue, and I'm actually going to go around and darken some of the shading like that. There you go. And if you want to lighten the shading in some areas as well, you can do that. I don't do that much because I tend to do darker shading in the first place. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Next, we're actually going to add another multiply layer, go on a blue, usually what I do, and kind of just go in and add a little bit of overall shading, like that. Just like around the edges usually, like on the bottom and around the back. You see, it's not that much, but it just gives a little bit more depth. And next we're going to do highlights, which I actually don't really do that much of, but I'm going to do some here just to show you. Oh, okay. So yeah, we're going to take the overlay layer. It depends what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes I'll use screen, sometimes I'll use overlay. Depends on like how light you want it to be, what kind of tone you want it to be. So I'm going to go with overlay right now and just you kind of do the opposite of what you did with the shading. You go on the in-between parts, but also still follow the curve of the hair. Let's see. And I'm not going to do too much on the lower parts, just on the upper parts mostly. And blend that shit too. I like to go in from each side and kind of press it together into like a line. Yeah, right now it's looking a little purpley, but like I kind of don't care. It looks kind of fun. So I'm going to do that. Until I press into a line there, I'm going to do a quick airbrush over the top of it. And there you go. And if you want to add like a line too, you can kind of just like do that kind of shit if you want. I don't really do that though. Like I don't do much of highlights, so I'm actually going to dim that a little bit. And next, for the final part, I'm going to add a quick screen layer and take the skin color actually on the screen layer and kind of just go... Oh, that's color dodge. Fuck. Okay, screen layer. Kind of just go around the face. Add some reflection from the skin, because I think it looks neat. And go around the edges of the face. Actually, for screen layers as well, what I like to do is I like to go to the very backmost parts of the hair, like back here, add another screen layer real quick, and kind of just like go over them, you know? And I actually like to do this above the line art usually, so I'm going to do that real quick. Let me select everything for one moment. Yeah, I'm actually going to go in with the screen layer and go over the top of everything real quick. And take the backmost pieces of hair, like this. And that's how you do like that cool thing that some artists do, where they make it like so the back of the hair looks like it's like being like fucking backlit or whatever, or like it's atmospheric, whatever the hell, you know. So I'm gonna do that. Do some of the tips there. Okay. And I'm going to erase most of it so it's not too intensive, but do some of that. You know? If that makes any sense at all. Yeah, just kind of go around where the light source is, maybe over here, and kind of add a little bit of screen. So there. Yeah, that's how I do very simple hair. Maybe I'll make another video on how I do some other kinds of hair. Yeah, then usually I can go in and touch it up once I finish kind of getting it all together. Like I'll touch up this little spot right here. That was bothering me. Make it a little bit less dark here, maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll make the screen a little less. Yeah, there you have it. Oh, shite. Okay. Well, let me just finish this up real quick. I'll just quickly shade the rest of it to make it look a little more cohesive. Okay, and there you have it. It's mostly done. Just gonna add a little bit more detail. It's a bit of a mess, but it's fine. You can deal with it. We've been through more. So yeah, you want to add just like a few little hair strands as well. Sometimes I do that with a pen, or just like take the hair color, the darker pieces, and like go like this. Especially if the hair is messy, that's fun. And also, one more trick. I'll probably make a video soon on how to make more cohesive colors, but, if you add a correction layer and do the color balance, I actually can't see it on my screen right now, but I usually take the shadows, make them more cyan and blue, and then I take the highlights and make them more red and yellow, and that usually adds a little bit more depth. So yeah, I can make a video on that soon. Oh yeah, there you have it. If you want to add like any final color stuff, I don't know. Yeah, that's about it. Any questions, just ask. Any other suggestions on tutorials to make. I hope this was helpful to some degree, despite all my rambling. Yeah, thanks for watching. Feed the algorithm, please. I am starving. But a starving artist, but it's fine. Thanks and bye.